Well, hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have with me a new robot vacuum from the company Dreametech. You see, this is the Dreametech L10 Pro. No, this is not the new robot vacuum. This is the L10 Pro on top. You see, the L10 Pro is a vacuuming and mopping robot that also has what they call 3D object avoidance sensors on the front. It allows this to basically effortlessly navigate around your house without colliding with things. All right. So today the news is right here. This is the newest robot vacuum from the company Dreametech. This is the Z10 Pro, the Dreame Bot Z10 Pro, and it is new and coming out on the market in September of this year. When it is released, it is expected to have a retail price of around $500. That is an incredible bargain for a robot vacuum with an auto empty dustbin that has a 4-liter dust bag in it, and it also has a very similar robot vacuum to the L10 Pro that I just showed you. That's right, this Z10 Pro has already a robot vacuum with 3D object avoidance sensors in the front of it. And so it can mop, it can vacuum, and it can also avoid items as it goes around your house. Now, to my knowledge, there's only 1 or 2 other robot vacuums on the market that can do that with an auto empty dustbin. You see, Roborock doesn't have that technology. While they have the S6 Max V on the market right now, it doesn't have an auto empty dustbin option. And while they do have the S7 with the new auto empty dustbin, it does not have a camera or a 3D laser based object avoidance system. So for the value of this being almost half the price as the competition, is it a good value or not? Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this, and we'll go ahead and dive into the unboxing right now. Okay, so diving into the unboxing, the first thing we're met with here is this water tank for the mop, which, as you can see, there is kind of a smaller mop. I have with me here the mopping pad from my L10 Pro, which you can see looks similar, except for it doesn't have that cutout shape there at the bottom. The L10 Pro is the bigger one up here on top. When we flip it over to compare it, we can see here it is still an electronically controlled mopping system. The fill mechanism looks the same. The only thing that does appear to be different is this cutout here at the very bottom. Now, I do see something here that looks like maybe a sensor, additional sensor, that I don't see on this one. I only see 2 metal tabs on this one. I think that is for it to detect that the mopping pad is installed in the robot vacuum. I see those 2 here. I just don't know what that is and can't really tell at this point. Right, looking at how well this releases, and this does have a wheel in the back. I do like the fact that they put a wheel there. Totally different than the other mopping pads, so this is a really interesting design. When you put it in, you've got to slide this in first and get it lined up, and then you've got to take the middle part and slide it in. This is definitely more difficult than just sliding one across. Look, it came out the track. And then you've got to take this one and try to slide it in the end as well. And then you've got to fold it down just like that. So there is a good bit more effort. Just to show you the difference, this is from my L10 Pro. To take the pad off, you just slide it off, and to put it on, you just have to start it once, slide it across, and then put it on. So there's a difference there, a couple differences there in the mopping pad feature. Maybe you're not buying this to mop, so maybe that doesn't make that big of a difference to you. It does come with a quick start guide here, which I'm always glad to see those included. Well, the manual is all in mostly black and white. There is some blue highlights and a few colors through here. Now, here is a dust bag. Dreametech says this is a 4-liter dust bag, which should be 1 liter bigger than the Roborock auto empty dock that we just reviewed and went over. It does look like it is a fairly good size. It does have the closing mechanism here for when you go to pull it out, it closes itself off. It does feel pretty sturdy, like maybe you could reuse it a few times if you needed to, put another vacuum there and suction the contents out. Pretty nice bag. This is the only filtration on the Z10 Pro. It does not have a separate filter at all. The only filtration you'll get is from this bag. Side brush, I really like these. These pop on and pop off really easy. It is rubberized with a bristle end. Alright, here is the robot vacuum that comes in the Z10 Pro box. It is a little bit different than the L10. The L10 is an all black design, and this design looks more like a dark and lighter gray design. It's really pretty and kind of different than anything I've seen on the market recently. Here is your front 3 object avoidance sensors right here on the very front. Let's flip it over on the bottom and take a look here. This is where all the new business is. This is the reason why that mop is smaller. We'll attach that here in a second, is because the dual inlets for the auto empty dock to be able to suction the dirt and debris out of the robot vacuum into itself. That will be done through these 2 ports right here. So that is the reason why the mop is smaller. It does have a removable end. It is your bristle and rubber style brush roller. Nothing really too majorly different there. This does have a total of 6 cliff sensors, 2 on each side and 2 at the top. These are your charging contacts right here. Front wheel, suspension wheels here on the bottom. These are your contacts to tell the robot vacuum that there is a mopping pad installed. And here is what it looks like with that mopping pad installed. You just simply click it in, just like that. So the water tank here on the Z10 Pro is 150 milliliters. The one on the L10 Pro, the bigger one, is 270 milliliters. So that's the difference there. Also here on the waste bin here is supposedly a bit smaller too. 570 milliliters on the L10 Pro. Here on the Z10 Pro, this one comes in at 400. So let's take a look at those real quick. So here are the bottoms of the dustbin, the L10 Pro here on top and the Z10 Pro here on the bottom. You can see the 2 holes that it's going to pull the dust and debris through the dustbin in the bottom of the robot vacuum. You do not have those on the L10 Pro because it does not have the option to mate up with the auto empty dustbin. Here is a top profile. They look the same on the top. The main differences are on the bottom. It does look like the Z10 Pro has a bigger filter in the back, and you can open this up, and it looks like there are some trap doors, so you are limited in space. Here's where you are limited in space here. The 400 milliliter dustbin is smaller than the bigger 570 dustbin here in the L10 Pro. I'll let you look at the difference inside right there. You can tell that the one here on this side is the Z10 Pro, and you are cut off this much and a little bit down here in the corner, whereas this one you have the full width of the dustbin. It does have the nice mesh covering that I like over the filter as well inside of the Z10 Pro. Okay, taking a peek here in the bottom of the Z10 Pro, we see the direct holes there in the very bottom. That is where the dust and debris would be pulled out of the dustbin and through these 2 inlets here. And Dreametech does say that they have an ability to tell when the system is clogged, and it will stop vacuuming as soon as it's detected there is a clog to allow you to unclog it. Now, we'll be running this in my house very thoroughly. I'll be putting it through many tests to let you know how well this system works. As you know, Roborock, with the latest model, they suck the dust and debris right back through the roller brush opening here. They're kind of unique to the market in the way they do that. Most of them have a system like this where they have holes in the bottom where they suck the dust and debris through. So we'll put this through test and see how well that does. Obviously, that is the reason why you would be buying this over the L10 Pro. Here on top, we do have a spot cleaning button, we have a power button, and we have a home button. The LiDAR sensor here on top is clickable. That means if it were to impact into something, it would reverse and back up and go the other direction. We do have a side sensor here. It is a wall detection sensor on the side of the robot vacuum. The exhaust is in the back. I'm sure also the speakers behind here. And here we have the auto empty dock that comes in the package with the Z10 Pro. This auto empty dock does have a little bit of a grip here at the very bottom of it so that the robot vacuum can get traction getting up on it. Here are those 2 inlet ports right here in the front bottom so that the robot vacuum, when it rides up on it, it can auto empty through these 2 ports. Now, looking over on the bottom of the unit, we have a clean out channel here. That is this clear channel. Now, Dreametech does not provide you with any tools like the Roborock does, but you can remove this clear plastic cover if you see a clog in here to clean it out. Now, as far as the rest of the auto empty dock here, we do have our 2 charging contacts right here in the center. That's where the robot vacuum will go to charge. Looking here at the dustbin container, we do have a single light here on the front. Let's go ahead and look inside the lid now. All right, so here inside we do already have a dust bag, a 4-liter dust bag installed for us. That's pretty big for the industry at 4 liters. That's bigger than Roborock and bigger than the competition from iRobot. So already you're getting some good value out of this. Now, Dreametech says these bags will last about 6.5 weeks. So it comes with 2, so you've already got several months. And of course that depends on usage in your house. If you have animals, dogs, cats, lots of hair, people with lots of hair, that'll depend on how quickly you end up filling this up. No word on whether or not this has a detection system that will let you know when it is full, or if you'll just have to open the lid and take a look in here yourself every so often. Now to pull this bag out, simply pull up on the handle and pull straight out. It couldn't be simpler than that. Looking in the bottom there, at the very bottom you can see a screen, and that is for the vacuum motor. That's what's going to pull the air through the system, and so it's nice to have an extra screen there to protect the motor. All of the debris comes through this one small opening here. Not sure how well you can see that on the camera right there. It is a fairly small opening. I'd say it's a little bit bigger than a $50. It does have a mechanism to keep you from being able to use the system and close the lid if you do not have a bag in here. Now, putting the bag back in should be just fairly simple. Just pushing it straight in like that. It is very easy, very accessible, easy to go in and easy to go out. I'm quite impressed with that. On these cardboard tabs, these that are really thin, if you're reusing these bags and so you pull it out, it's automatically going to come up like this. If you're putting it back in, make sure you push this cardboard piece down first. Don't push the bag back in the unit on this, because this is the thinnest part of the cardboard. So if you push that back in before you put your bag back in, you will save the life of the cardboard.